Welcome to my version of First Things First. Knicks Tiers headed into Week 11. Now, we do it very differently here, as these are not predictions. It has nothing to do with what you did in Weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Has nothing to do with you being Patrick Mahomes, or Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson. Nothing to do with the fact the Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Nothing to do with that. It is strictly what did you just do this past week? How did you play? What did you do? Was it impressive? Was it not impressive? Was it an easy win? A tough win? Just because you had a great win, just because you won by a lot against a bad team, does not automatically mean that you're at the top. And just because you lost, doesn't mean that you're dropping levels either. It's strictly quality of play combined with what did you need to do? What stakes were involved? It's using the past as a rough jumping off point. Knowing this team is good, this team is bad, knowing you're going up against a great quarterback. But it's not using that as like, well, of course I expect this team to be, of course, they're going to continue to be good. It's a delicate balance. And that's what makes these tiers so unbiased, so grounded, so accurate, so true. And also it tends to annoy a lot of people because they seem to be confused by the structure a little bit. But let's jump right into it and get people pretty frustrated from the jump. We got the Will Smith crying tier. What did I do to deserve this? The Buffalo Bills, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers. They were starting to feel themselves. They were like, everyone's like, bro, you gotta start talking about the Carolina Panthers. I'm like, why? They're like, they're for real. I'm like, I don't think so. Yes, they are. They could win the division. Then they have a beautiful opportunity. The Bucks lose to the Patriots. Like the Panthers are there now. Like they can do it. They're going toe-to-toe with the Cowboys, the Packers, and they lose. And they lose. Okay, a quarterback that people don't even know how to say his name. Shawshuck. Huh? Who? What's his name? How old is he? 26, 37, beating you. New Orleans Saints. No. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence. I don't even want to make eye contact with you right now. What are you all doing? What are you guys doing? The Houston Texans can't do anything offensively. They literally can't do anything offensively. Now they have a backup quarterback in, and they're dropping 36 points on you. Trevor Lawrence doing his hardest just to not be a great quarterback, to not be a number 1 overall pick. It's crazy. What did I do to deserve this? And the Buffalo Bills. This is supposed to be a layup game. You're going up against the Miami Dolphins, the team that you own. Tua, struggling. Their head coach about to be fired, and they drop 30 on you. 30 on you. You lose 30-13. What did I do to deserve this? All 3 of those teams. You did a lot. You are not a victim. Your actions led to where you are. You made your bed. Now you gotta lay in it. Now we got the next year. I don't remember the names of these. Oh, now that is a contradiction. You guys remember those Starburst commercials? I want to do the impressions so badly because I do a pretty good job of it, but I'm afraid people are going to get angry. Now that is what I call a walking contradiction. The Texans, the Broncos, and the Vikings. The Broncos, they got a great record. They be balling. They got some wins. But this offense was supposed to be legit. They got a great O-line. They took care of the run game. Their defense is elite. And this is supposed to be year 2. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, taking that huge step forward. And there was nowhere to be found in that Raiders game. Nowhere to be found. And if they can just bring things together, this team should play higher quality than what it is right now. They're winning and it's impressive, and it's, to me right now, it's gonna all come down to the game against Kansas City Chiefs about to show us who you truly are. Can you rise to the occasion or not? You either are or you aren't. That's what it comes down to. The Texans, what a contradiction. You're scoring points now that your great quarterback is now playing. Now that he got concussed, he got knocked out by that Denver Broncos team. Your defense is elite. Your defense is the best in the NFL, and then you give up 29 points to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are we doing here? What's happening? I don't know. I wait. What? You're giving up all these points to the Jags, which is bizarre. You're scoring points with your backup quarterback, which is bizarre. I don't know, man. How do you make sense of it? And then we got the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota, place that I really like. Place that I really love. Some of the nicest people I've ever met out there. I've been all over the country, and I was at a tournament in Minnesota. Hands down, some of the nicest people I've ever met. People always like, oh, aren't people like nicer on the West Coast this? It's like, no, not really. Minnesota, they're nice. It's that kindness. And I'm sorry, but this is a contradiction. This team should be so much better. This team was set to pop. This team was like, man, J.J. McCarthy, he's going to be an upgrade on Sam Darnold. It's going to be easy. You had J-Max saying that J.J. McCarthy was going to be Sam Darnold. Orky's like, this team is going to be exactly where they were last year, even better with J.J. Now what's going on? The O-line's not great. I mean, Kevin O'Wennell is supposed to be able to win with anyone. He's kind of struggling here. J.J. McCarthy, again, I give J.J. McCarthy the full range to struggle. But you would think in a more supportive environment, his struggles would still elevate the floor. And you're able to beat the Detroit Lions and look competent, and then look downright incompetent against the Baltimore Ravens. Now that is a contradiction. And now we got the old Band-Aid on some broken concrete. We'll start with the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons could be in a contradiction as well. And again, these are specifically how you played in your last game, okay? Not saying the Falcons are better than the Broncos, right? Or anything like, not saying that the 49ers are better than the Bills or any of that type of stuff. It's specifically on the individual quality of the game. The Falcons actually played really well. They're in Germany, okay? Their broadcast is out there talking about World War II, like pretty intense, harsh stuff. Like I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's too early for that. I'm just trying to watch some football, man. I'm not trying to relive the 1940s right now. You know, this isn't social studies class. I'm just trying to watch football, man. That's all I'm trying to do. And they want to give us a whole background of like, you know, World War II, whatever. You know, that's not the channel for this, okay? Go somewhere else for that, man. And the Atlanta Falcons actually play really well, all things considered, going up against Daniel Jones and the Colts, who have been obviously a great team, a top team in the NFL. And then Michael Penn, though, wildly inaccurate. But yet it's coming down to the wire. Overtime. Can't come away with the win. It was a high-quality game, but, like, not enough. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're probably confusing a lot of people why. They're up there. The defense actually played great. The offense not so good, and Aaron Rodgers played not good at all. But there were plays to be there. They just were not made. And so when your defense actually really played well, Justin, you just got Justin Herberted a couple times. The defense actually played really well. This was like a low scoring, I think, what was it, like 3-0 at half or whatever the heck it was. The defense rose to the occasion, but they could only endure so much. The offense couldn't do anything. But when I come away with that game feeling weirdly optimistic in a weird way. Because I do think that was an exceptionally off game from Aaron. And again, I'm not trying to use Aaron's background as a projection or trying to predict into the future. But I just look at that game and I think to myself, in isolation, against the Chargers. I really liked what I saw defensively. Offensively. Going up against the Chargers, it's just, I don't know, it was a weird balance for me. And then the 49ers, right? They got beat good, but they are so banged up. And their defense is such a mess. And M. Jones is still balling. I mean, I don't know. That's another game that you weirdly kind of feel good about, because that game kind of got away from them kind of quickly. And once that happens, it's tough sledding in the NFL. And yet, they still hung around. There was moments when you're like, hey, the 49ers can kind of make this a game. And I just think that if they played that game again, it's hard to overcome all those injuries. But I just think that the score didn't really highlight, or didn't really show, the quality of the 49ers in that moment. And I just still think it's pretty remarkable what they're doing. And honestly, they keep getting a boost in the Lucas's ladder for me because of what they've been able to accomplish with all the injuries. And then we got the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers. You held a team to 10 points. That should be good enough to win every single game. You are the Green Bay Packers. At home. Lambeau. Jordan Love is supposed to be Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre. Matt LaFleur is supposed to be, McVay Shanahan. Andy, who he's supposed to be this. He's just young, obviously, but he's supposed to be him. You're supposed to have a great quarterback, a great head coach. You have an elite defense. The reigning Super Bowl champions, on the road. You hold them to 10 points. Going into that game, Vice said, you're going to hold the Eagles at 10 points. Do the Packers win? If we get rid of the Eagles fans who were voting, 100% of people would say, yeah, the Packers are going to win. Packers are going to win again. The other percentage would be Eagles fans like, no, we're going to win, we're going to win. You held them to 10 points. 10 points. You were right there. Couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it done. Coaching, player performance, whatever. Could not get it done. So, you are a Band-Aid on a concrete crack. And now we got this is fine on fire meme. Let me get this higher. This is a crowded tier. This is a crowded ladder step. We got the Colts, the Bears, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the Ravens. This is hard. I was struggling a little bit with some of these teams because I could move them up or down depending on how I was feeling in any given moment. But I think this meme fits it very well. And so that's honestly really why these 6 teams are here right now. The Colts. The Colts also keep winning. They They keep winning, but Daniel Jones is starting to. People are starting to get nervous. They're like, oh, this is the Daniel Jones that what he always had been. Like, they're getting nervous. They have one of the most high-powered offenses, and people are starting to get a little angsty. They're trying to boost their defense, trade picks for defense, and try to bring in Sauce Gardner. They're like, come on, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. And it's like, are you great, or are you all on fire? The Chicago Bears, they also keep finding ways to win. They were down by a bunch, and they were down by 10 against the New York Giants. They were dropping literally every single pass you could ever imagine, and they needed Caleb's heroics, and they're feeling fine. They're feeling good. They're feeling energized. They're feeling motivated. But Jackson Dart and a coach who was about to get fired was on path to beating them until he got concussed out of that game. That's just the reality. Just the reality. Whether you want to. Blame drops, it doesn't matter. Like, if Jackson Dart doesn't get knocked out of the game, Bears probably lose that game. But they're feeling good. They're winning. Caleb is rising. Ben Johnson's showing his worth. It's pretty cool. The Chargers. The Chargers are on fire because the O-line is so unbelievably bad. And Justin Herbert. The fact that Justin Herbert is not knocked out and he's still playing is quite remark. Justin Herbert could literally be on fire right now. Literally on fire. And that Pittsburgh Steelers offense was stifled by the Chargers. And that Chargers offense had to go up against, which I thought was a good defense. They had a ton of pressure on Justin Herbert with that decimated O-line. And he still found a way to make it work. Still found a way to get the ball to Lad Mackey. Some big plays. Herbert using his legs. Impressive win, but are you just going to turn into rubble? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a good game. I think they actually played really well against the New England Patriots. It was a tough loss. Drake May really elevated his game. They really shut down the run really well, except for 2 plays that just so happened to be massive runs that fundamentally changed the game. There was really those 3 plays. The first touchdown pass from Drake May, which was a huge touchdown play. And the 2 big runs. It's like, I don't mean to pull a Micah Parsons, but it's like if you take away those 3 plays and the game does change, though. And it was different with Micah because, that ended up being a blowout. This was a little bit closer of a game, and, they're winning, but then they're losing. So it's like, how do you feel right now if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Do you feel, hey, once we get healthy, we're good to go? Or what's going on? Then the Baltimore Ravens, it's like, they beat J.J. McCarthy in his 4th ever game, and they're going up against a great Brian Flores defense with the Minnesota Vikings. But that game felt harder than it should have been. What was the score like? 10-9 going into the second half or whatever. Pretty fortunate. You had the 1 fumble kickoff. Lamar, he looked okay. Hey, he looked good. He wasn't great. He wasn't the Lamar that we truly know and love. Derrick Henry really couldn't get going. Again, we can give credit to the Minnesota Vikings defense and all of that. But with the expectations of who the Baltimore Ravens are, it's like, are you getting this thing going in the right direction? Are you moving forward? Or is it just kind of, who you've been throughout the course of the season? Which is kind of good, sometimes great, kind of not so good. We'll find out. And the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, you went up against a great defense. Yes, this was a weird, ugly, low-scoring game. Not really ugly per se, but just a defensive battle. I understand. I showed a clip of one of the local Philadelphia news shows or whatever the heck it is. Assault clip, with one of their guys' Jaws. And he talked about how each game takes its own kind of identity, right? And that's true. That's true. And that O-line is messy, and Lane Johnson was getting injured. He was literally legitimately in and out, and then in the lineup. But I still expect more offensively more than anything from that Philadelphia Eagles offense. When you see what Dak Prescott was able to do against that Packers defense, I expect the Eagles to be able to do more. I just do. And I joke because someone said that in the live stream, and they're like, oh, remember when the Packers scored 30-some points, whatever. And it's like, oh, or remember when the Cowboys scored 35 or whatever. How many points it was against the Packers? And I was like, yeah. And then remember when the Packers scored the same amount of points against the Dallas Cowboys defense? Yeah, that's why you're losing and why the Eagles are winning. Yikes. So, but again, they keep winning. A.J. Brown not 100% involved. He is the wide receiver 1. A.J. Brown is the wide receiver 1, and yet Devontae's being fed, right? Saquon Barkley wasn't really getting going except for that huge spin move play. Life was kind of difficult for Jalen Hurts in that game. Again, Credit to the Packers defense. But it's just like this is this, that. It is the definition of Super Bowl or bust. They win a Super Bowl, it's all like, yep, that's what we do, Philadelphia Eagles. If you lose, it's, this was the problem the whole time. You were always a house of card, supernatural funk, blah 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 blah. And then we got the tippy top tier, the ugly Shrek cake. Look at that. Look at that. Don't call him ugly. It's still cake. Maybe it tastes good. That looks gross to me. If you cut me a piece of that, I am not eating that. But it is cake. So, I don't know. Maybe like, eat the inside of it. I don't know. We got the Rams. We got the Seahawks. We got the Patriots. We got the Lions. This is what's interesting about these teams right now. Why are they ugly cake? Allow me to explain. Who have the Rams actually beat? Who have they really beat you? That's the win. Someone in the comments section who I go back and forth a lot, I really like. No disrespect to you. Me and him just disagree a little bit. He's like, the best team who the Rams played were the Colts and we beat them. And it's like, no. The best team we played was the Eagles and the Eagles beat you. And if you think the Colts are better, then you're saying that the Eagles are worse and you lost to the Eagles. So, either way, that doesn't help your argument. And you can say the same thing for the Seahawks. You can say the same thing for the Lions. People try to make that argument about the Patriots right up until they beat the Bucks, but the Bucks are so injured, and round and round and round and round we go. And the arguments to a degree are valid, which is why it was exciting to see Drake May go up against a great defense with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm excited to see the Los Angeles Rams go up against the Seattle Seahawks. Like, that is going to be incredibly telling. The Detroit Lions going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. That is going to be incredibly telling. Blowing out the Washington Commanders means nothing to me. Beating a decimated injury team 49ers for the Los Angeles Rams means nothing to me. Quite frankly, the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals had some juice with Jacoby Brissett. So, do put that on a slightly higher level, but that game just got blown up immediately that it was just like, all right, it was literally 28-0 1 minute into the second quarter, and then 35-0. So, it's like not quite the real game, and it's impressive, but not always an indicator of what you're actually seeing. We saw the Baltimore Ravens roll the Buffalo Bills. Sometimes a game just gets out of control like that, as Collinsworth discussed in that very game, that just like, defenses can start to do whatever they want. They could take risks, etc., 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 and it just becomes really hard to come back from all of that. And then lo and behold, obviously the Buffalo Bills were better than the Baltimore Ravens, playoffs, etc., etc. So just because you win big doesn't mean you're a big bad wolf. But all teams I believe in, obviously. And really the biggest thing about the Patriots and the Buccaneers game and the Patriots' performances is that they were stifled against a better defense, and Drake May was nowhere near as comfortable. Had, probably his lowest completion percentage of the season, if not definitely one of them, had the turnover. Like I said, the running, they could not rely on that run game. I know it ended up being huge for them in the grand scheme of things, but that's why it's actually pretty perfect that Romo, when he was commentating for the one handoff that ended up going for like whatever it was, 70-yard touchdown, when whatever it was. He was like, I don't love this, they're doing this again, and I don't love it because it was not working. They could not rely on the run game at all. I'm watching that game just thinking, you just gotta have Drake May keep throwing it. But that's tough because Todd Bess is giving him looks that he's never seen before, and then he was able to break through, and Romo was like, I don't love this, and then he's like, I love it, because then he broke free. So it was like, it was fortunate for the Patriots, but you did not watch that game thinking that you had any type of reliability on that run game, and if it wasn't for like a big explosive play like that, this game fundamentally changes. But still a great win and a well-deserved win. Obviously, we're here to nitpick for this ladder. This isn't just meant to just praise every single team. And if you notice, every single team I'm like, because that's the point right now, right? It's to look through a hypercritical eye and not just be like, oh, who's stopping the Seahawks? Who's stopping the line? Who's stopping the Rams? Like, that's not really the point of this specific segment in this moment of time. I do that plenty throughout other videos because Nick Wright and Colin and everyone else is always trying to bash lots of these teams, and so that's my place to be able to elevate them. And so here we get to, I don't know, look at it from a different perspective. Different perspective, be a little bit of a devil's advocate. But yeah, It is funny to see these tiers right now, because like I said, this is specifically on how you played week 10. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. And it is interesting, because we do have such confirmation bias, recency bias, excuse me, where you see the Rams have a big win, you see the Seahawks have a big win, you have the Lions have a big win, and you have the Patriots have a big, tough win against a tough opponent. You're just like, man, these are top teams. Like, who can stop these teams? I'm pretty sure Colin has Seattle, LA, and the Patriots top 3, I think, right now. And then and then the Eagles beat the Packers in a game that didn't feel like, oh yeah, this is the top team, right? You don't watch that game and think, that's the Philadelphia Eagle, they're a top team. You leave that game being like, what was that? Why did they wait? Huh? And then the Packers were just like, why can you only score 7 points? Why are you on a losing streak right now? Your defense is elite. Like, what is happening? You know, and again, the Chicago Bears, everyone's pumped about them. Everyone's pumped about Caleb Williams and all this. And it's like, you were losing to Jackson Dart and the Giants, right? You know, right up until he got concussed. The one turnover was because he got concussed. You know, like that does matter. They were about to score again there. And so, you know, there's plenty to love and plenty to hate about all these teams right now and where they're at and how they've been playing recently, but right now, this makes the most sense to me based on how they just played. And in a lot of ways, it does seem to be how people feel, outside of maybe like the 49ers and the Falcons who are up there more just because it's just like, wow, okay, you actually competed relative to what you have to work with right now, or who the opponent you're going up against. But yeah, I don't know. It's I got another idea for a segment, but I'll leave it there right now. Can't wait to hear lots of people complain about this, like they do for the mountain. Because again, people still seem to struggle with the concept that it's just an individual game basis. I know it's difficult sometimes for people to just say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on one game and have fun with that week, rather than constantly trying to evaluate someone's legacy. Are they going to be able to do it tomorrow? Are they going to be able to do it in the playoffs? None of that matters right now. It's November. It's November 12th. I don't care about anything. I don't care about what this looks in December. I don't care about who's facing who in the playoffs, who's got home field advantage. None of that matters right now. I don't care that you just won a Super Bowl. You're an MVP. None of that matters to me right now. None of it. We can't constantly view the NFL through that lens. We can't do that week after week after week. That's exhausting. That's not fun. You gotta live a little. You gotta eat some ugly cake while on fire. Over some split concrete, talking to a Scottish Korean person playing a bagpipe, crying to yourself. What did you do to deserve this mayhem? But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Lucas's ladder? My take on Nick's tiers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.